Hello everybody, welcome back to Practice Like a Pro. So today we're going to talk about right and left hand techniques when you first get going playing guitar. Now this applies to both acoustic and electric, even though they look a little bit different, it's more or less the same. If you get value out of today's video, hit the like button, let us know in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. So first of all I want to talk about holding the guitar. Now with dreadnought style acoustic guitars, probably something very similar you've got at home, you want to make sure the body is right up against your chest. Now because they're quite thick, and you feel like you're clambering over it. If you play like this, you're gonna end up sort of arching your back, and that's not what we want. We want it nice and straight, and have the guitar tucked against your chest. Now, if you want to sort of have it more at not quite a 45-degree angle, but you want to have it sort of a little bit off axis, that's completely cool. But try not to do this for me, okay? Let's talk about the fretting hand. So, whether you're playing chords or melody, when you first get going with guitar, it's really important that you use the very tips of your fingers. Now, if you have a look at your finger, you've got where the fingerprint is. A lot of people try to play guitar there, and what happens is you end up killing a load of the strings and muting a load of the strings underneath where you're playing. So what I want you to try and do is use the very tip top of your finger. So I'm sorry girls, you might have to cut your nails a little bit, but you're going to get a lot better grip of the note. So let's say I'm going to do an E minor chord, so we're going to use these two fingers. I'm going to use fingers 1 and 2 on the second fret of the A and the D strings. Looks like this. Now, if I play with the fingerprints of my fingers, can you see how I'm touching the strings underneath? Can you hear how I'm not getting a noise out of those? Out of the D and the G. Whereas if I play on the very tip tops of my fingers, it sounds so much better. Let me do an A-B for you. Also, thumb positioning is really important. Now, a bit more of a classical kind of technique is to have your thumb where your thumbprint is, square on the back of the neck. Now it depends where you are on the neck and what you're trying to play as well. Now somebody like myself, I've got really big hands, so you'll see people playing guitar sometimes and they have the thumb over the top of the neck. If you've got really big hands, it's not a crime to do that. A classical guitar teacher might slap your hand for it, but what you want to aim for is to have a little gap between where your fingers meet your palm and the bottom of the neck, like so. I should be able to, if we were in a one-to-one guitar lesson, face-to-face guitar lesson, I should be able to take my pencil and there should be enough of a gap between the bottom of the neck and your hand. So wherever your thumb lies, you need to have just a little bit of a gap underneath that, okay? Let's talk about fretting notes. So when we're fretting notes, we need to make sure that we're in the middle of the fret and not on top of the fret wire. If you get too close to the fret wire, you get a lot of buzz. And that's not what we want. So you probably want to come back half an inch or so to get a nice clean note. And I'm pressing with the very tip of my finger. You might be able to see where the line is on my fingers. I'm using the very tip of my finger, and you're going to have to press down. It's quite hard. It's going to hurt initially. Or hurt, not really hurt, but it's going to be uncomfortable. And you need to try and use a decent amount of pressure. Now, if you're playing with your thumb on the back of the neck, it's more a pinch rather than you tensing your whole hand. The pressure should be between, let's say we're using his index finger to fret the note, and your thumb. The pressure should be between those two. You shouldn't feel it in the rest of your hand. So let's go to the other side now. Now, there's two different kind of modes of playing that I like to talk about. Whether you're playing melodies, which is one note at a time, or whether you're playing chords. Now, when you're playing melodies, a lot of people like to put the little finger, you see where the scratch plate is on my guitar? They like to put the finger there and kind of use that as an anchor. Now, if you look on acoustic guitars, you've got these kind of like beveled parts either side of the bridge. Now, I like to rest the palm of my hand, or if you follow your thumb and there's that sort of chubby bit at the bottom of your thumb, I like to rest that on there and kind of use that as an anchor rather than your thumb, rather than your pinky. Because what's going to happen is you're going to wear the finish away of your guitar, but also it's restricting your range of motion. So if I'm playing through a scale, now my hands are big enough to be able to stretch down all 6 strings. If yours aren't, you can move that part of your hand over the bridge pins of your acoustic guitar or the bridge of your electric guitar. And if I'll play up and down the scale, and you'll be able to see how my hand comes up and down. Try and get into that as early as you can, because it's a really, really common bad habit that beginner guitar players get into, and they really, really struggle to get out of it. And that's whether you're playing scales, you try to play riffs, doesn't matter. When it comes to strumming, I want you to have like a floating technique, where when I strum the strings, I'm not anchoring on to anything. Now, just a little bit of bonus for you today. 90% of the movement should come out of your elbow. You should imagine it's like the pendulum of a grandfather clock, okay? Try not to do loads with your wrist. Now, when you get into the more funkier kind of... you do need a little bit more of that. But while you're strumming along to Oasis or whatever, big open chord strumming songs, try and get most of it to come out of your elbow for me. And you can see how I'm not, if I was to try and combine the two techniques that we've just talked about for your picking hand, it's not as grand a sounding. You want the strings to really breathe and ring out. Okay, that's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching. If you like what we do, hit the like button. Let us know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see. I'm going to put some links in the description and at the end of the video for you to have a look at, which you can use some of these techniques we've talked about today and practice them along with our interactive practice tools. That's mainly what we do here at Practice Like a Pro. So if you want to check those out and let us know how you get on, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. So till next time I see you, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.